Okay, sorry for this. With vlogging, you gotta not care about how you look sometimes, because this is an accurate portrayal of me most mornings until I get coffee in me and get dressed. Anyways, it is the final week of the Magical Readathon hosted by Book Roast, and I am trying to complete the coursework for William Academy for the spring equinox for the Feywild Cartographer, and I have made it my mission to read through Book of the Month, remember? So not a surprise here. I've been talking about that quite a bit. And I need to do some work on books for this, especially to pass my classes. I've done okay, but like this is usually how I read. I make TBRs and then at the end of the month I'm like, crap. So we've got about a week left in the month, a little bit more than that, like a week and a half. I've got quite the stack. I'm gonna go through the ones I need to get read, and then we'll talk about some of the other extra stuff that aren't really specific, but it is what it is. So I still need to pass elemental studies. So I am going to be reading Writers and Lovers in this vlog. There needed to be flowers on the cover. So Writers and Lovers. And then for shape shifting, I think there had to be a wolf on the cover. Wolf on the cover, title, author's name. So I'm reading The Wolf and the Woodsman. For demonology, this had to be a book compared to your favorite is demonology. And I also needed for a bingo card for my friend Gwen's channel, for her Patreon, I needed her to pick a book for me. And so Ask Again, Yes. I really like dysfunctional families, messy families, quiet novels. So this one is one I've wanted to read forever. Like it's so old, it's starting to get yellow because it's been on my shelf for so long. This was a book of the month in 2019. I have book of the month from like 2016 that I still haven't read. So I need to get these 3 read to pass my classes. I've read for Animal Studies, I read The Stranger in the Woods. For astronomy, I read 9 Perfect Strangers. I am currently reading Spinning Silver for alchemy, and then I read for Inscription When We Were Bright and Beautiful. Like I said in my Magical Readathon video, I'm trying to create my character still because this is new to me. I am in the Order of the Crescent, and in the Order of the Crescent, you get a familiar. And I didn't have a lot of books with an animal on the title, and so your familiar is simply reading a book with an animal on the cover. That is your familiar. I am reading These Precious Days by Ann Patchett for a book club, so I'm listening to this on audio right now. It's probably gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. I have cried like multiple times. She just writes so beautifully, and there's a dog on the cover, so my familiar will be a dog. Doesn't surprise me. There's also a bird on the back. I don't really like birds. They kind of scare me, so I don't really want that to be, but I'm gonna go with the dog. And then there's a quest. I forget what it is, but you needed the word night in the title, and so I'm trying to get to the Midnight Bargain to start the quest, but I can do that beyond this month, so if I don't finish that, that's fine. But that is my TBR for this reading vlog, and I will pop in with updates as we move along. Okay, so I finished my first book for this reading vlog, and it was Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I loved Uprooted by her. Like, it was just newer to me when I had gotten back into reading after law school, and it was exactly what I was looking for. I really like fairy tale retellings, and that was based on Beauty and the Beast. So I read this one as a buddy read with some people through Discord, which was a part of the Magical Readathon, I believe. It was okay. I'm kind of sad I didn't love it as much as I did. I think what really did it for me is this book is constantly changing point of views, but it doesn't label, and I think I showed this in the last video, it doesn't label who is speaking, and so you don't know. It just takes a while for your brain to figure out who is speaking because it's also just told in such a different way. And so the initial part of the book is just the 3 main female characters. But then about halfway through the book, you start getting different perspectives of different characters who are side characters. And it was just kind of distracting to the book. It's also hard because some of the biggest moments in the story are told from the side character's point of view and not the main characters. And I think the author did that so that they could convey like the full scope of what was happening in the room from a outsider's perspective versus the people actually in the action. And I get it, but I wanted to know what the main character's thoughts and motivations were. So that kind of caused this. This was a 3.75 for me. It is beautiful writing. It's very atmospheric. And I believe it's based on Rumpelstiltskin, and then Baba something. but it's folklore I'm not familiar with. Rumpelstiltskin I am, because of Once Upon a Time. It was okay. It was good. I'm giving it a 3.75 because the writing was beautiful. The story was really well done. Just the point of view and the pacing really wasn't my favorite. So unfortunately, not as high of a rating as I thought it would be. It was still really good, and I definitely recommend it if you like fairy tale retellings. I'll continue to read her. I have A Deadly Education, I believe, on my shelves, and she has a whole other fantasy, like high fantasy series that I think also sounds really interesting. So, okay, real quick to continue on with this vlog that I'm doing for Magical Readathon. Really would like my work computer to not update as much as it does. The lighting's pretty bad. All right. This weekend, I have 2 more books I want to get to. I have 4 books left that I need to tackle this month. One of them is for Magical Readathon, and that is Ask Again Yes. I'm going to read that this weekend. I requested a hold for the audiobook. Hopefully it comes in. So I still need to read Ask Again Yes for the readathon. And then technically there's 3 books I need to read still. And then Writers and Lovers will be one I need to still read. And then The Wolf and the Woodsman. I have about a little over a week to read these. So hopefully, usually I read 3 to 4 books in a week. I just really need to hit home on those. Ask Again Yes is a family saga. How Much Can a Family Forgive? A profoundly moving novel about 2 neighboring families in a suburban town, the bond between their children, a tragedy that reverberates over 4 decades, the daily intimacies of marriage, and the power of forgiveness. That sounds totally up my alley, so I will probably start this one ASAP. And then I'm reading The It Girl for a buddy read, unrelated to this, but here we go. All right, so I've gotten quite a bit of reading done this morning. I've gotten halfway into The Wolf and the Woodsman, and I really like it. It's Hungarian and Jewish folklore, which I know very little about, but it is just really easy to follow. It's really beautifully written. I like both of the characters and their relationship. It's just a believable relationship, whereas I had just finished Spinning Silver last week, and I just really struggled with the relationship in there because it was so one-sided. Isn't even it. It was so not built well. Like, they had no chemistry. They hated each other. Their cultures were vastly different, and suddenly I was supposed to believe that they like loved each other. This is totally different. Like, it's just so well done, and it's got a couple little steamy scenes, but nothing crazy. I am just really enjoying it a lot. So hopefully I could finish this today if I shirk all responsibilities, so that probably won't happen, but it is what it is. And then I'm reading Ruth Ware's The It Girl as a buddy read today, or this month. And this is my first Ruth Ware, and I'm getting the sense that this is not a typical Ruth Ware book. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's dark academia, kind of giving me Secret History vibes, but not. Definitely know there's a murder that happens because that's what starts the beginning of the book, and there's flashbacks and stuff, but it is rich people behaving badly at Oxford, and I don't know. It's really easy to read. It's not boring or anything, but it's just, I think it's different. I have not read any Ruth Ware. I tried to read, is it The Secret in Cabin 10, maybe? And got super creeped out in like the first chapter because it was just so well written that I DNF'd it. And that was before, like, I think I've gotten a little braver in my reading, so I'm going to try her again. I'm getting the sense this might not be the best way to introduce myself to how Ruth Ware really writes. I don't know. But this is just a buddy read, another book of the month book I want to get off my shelf this month. It's not actually Magical Readathon related, but because it's being read in the week that I'm trying to finish up all my April reads, it's coming into this vlog. So sorry, friends. Everything else, I'm going to go clean right now, and then I'm going to finish These Precious Days by Ann Patchett. I'm going to listen to that on audio. That book is going to get me my familiar. I'm in the Order of the Crescent, and there's a dog on the cover, and I've decided the dog is going to be my familiar because it seems like every book I read has a bird on the cover. I don't like birds. So to find your familiar, you just have to read a book with an animal on the cover, and that is your familiar. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. I'm going to finish it in the next like hour. I think I have 52 minutes left, but I'm listening to it on 2 times speed. I've heard it's really sad, so we'll see how I handle that. Hey, so it is Tuesday, and I have less than a week to read 4 books. I'm halfway through 2 of them. 3 of which are for the magical readathon. I want to read other things, but all these books. Why am I the way that I am? Anyways, so today my magical readathon book, one of them with flowers on the cover, I forget which class it's for, is Writers and Lovers. My library audio came in, so I'm listening to this one on audio as I just finished up a different book for book club, These Precious Days, which was where I got my familiar. There is a part in this, there was a paragraph that was just oddly really sexual, describing a friend and her cat, and it was really unsettling. And it just wasn't what I was expected out of this book. But I do like the structure. I like the story. I love the narrator so far. It's about a girl who I believe just got out of a breakup or a relationship, but her mom has also passed away. So she's in the throes of grief. And I tend to really love books about grief. This is also a Modern Mrs. Darcy book club pick that I had missed like a couple years ago. So I'm going to read it and then catch up. And yeah, we'll see. The audiobook is only 8 hours, but I listen at 2 times speed. So I'll get it done in like 4. I'm probably gonna get an hour or 2 in today of listening. Today's kind of a busy day. I have a hair appointment, which is great because my roots are growing out. And then we have a soccer game tonight. It's a pink out. So we're all wearing pink, both boys and girls. And it'll be fun. It's for a family member in our community that we're supporting. So yeah, it'll be a great day. It's actually nice out, which is cool too. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated as we proceed. Good morning. It is Wednesday and I didn't get much reading done yesterday because it was a busy day. I got my hair done, so my roots look good finally, and then had a soccer game. And then we got home, we went out to dinner with some friends, and just, it was a lot. So by the time I got home, I really just wanted to like go to bed. So I did start Writers and Lovers yesterday on audio, and I got some reading of that done while my hair was processing. It is a literary book, and I think if I wasn't trying to get this done as fast as I wanted to this month, I would read it in hard print. But the audiobook came in and I'm trying to finish it for the magical readathon. And it is just about a girl who is seriously grieving the loss of her mother and kind of just got out of a breakup with a married man, and she's starting to date again and process her grief. And I am enjoying it so far. I think I talked earlier, there's like one scene that still is just really bothering me. Today, I don't have a super busy day, praise the Lord. It's also National Infertility Awareness Week. And so for work, I'm leading a chat with other coworkers who are on this journey, and it's wearing orange for infertility, so I've got that on. I need to repot some plants. I need to repot some plants today. I also need to do some meal prep, so you'll probably see some little vlogging of that, but I'm hoping tonight to get more of The Wolf and the Woodsman, and I'm trying to read about 100 pages a day of that, and maybe a little bit more of The It Girl by Ruth Ware. Still got the 4 books I need to finish this month. I did just get my audiobook hold in for Ask Again Yes. So once I finish Writers and Lovers, I'll start that on audio, and then we'll see if I can get these 4 books finished by Sunday. Hi, so it is Thursday. I have not recorded much today, but I have finished 1 book and I'm about to finish my 2nd book, and Kingsley's over here keeping me comfortable. Kingsley's over here keeping me company. My husband had a soccer game tonight, and so I've been hanging out with my kiddo and got him to bed, and now I'm able to read. So I finished Writers and Lovers. It's a really literary great book. I really enjoyed it, but I do really like character-driven novels. I've just really been into books about grief lately, which is really interesting. I don't know. That's just been a theme I've noticed, what with Queenie and with Mama. And that was, I'm going to do a recap at the end of this of all the classes that the books were for, because I cannot think of them off the top of my head. And this one is sitting with me making things difficult. I am about 60 pages from finishing The Wolf and the Woodsman. I am going to try to finish that tonight, and then I'll probably watch Suits for the rest of the night. Today was a pretty typical day. Worked, hung off my kid, and watched a soccer game, and now reading with the Vishlas. So until the next time, I will check in here probably tomorrow morning if I'm being honest. So bye. Hi everyone. So I didn't do a great job of vlogging Friday or yesterday. I don't know. When I go through the footage, I'm sure I will see what days I missed, but still on the Magical Readathon. It is Saturday, the 29th of April. I've got 2 days left. I have one book I still need to finish for the Magical Readathon, and that is Ask Again Yes. I am about 40% in it via audio, and I've been reading it too. I really love it. So it has the makings of being like a top 10 book, and this author has a new book coming out, so I'm really excited. I got a taste of Ask Again Yes and finally made that a priority because I want to read this book since it's a NetGalley copy I got. So I have completed some of my classes. Since we last spoke, I did finish Writers and Lovers, 4 stars, really enjoyed it. That got me my elemental studies. And then I finished The Wolf and the Woodsman for shapeshifting. I really also enjoyed that a lot. Animal studies was Stranger in the Woods. Astronomy was 9 Perfect Strangers. Alchemy was Spinning Silver. Inscription is When We Were Bright and Beautiful. And then Demonology will be Ask Again Yes. So once I finish that, I will have finished my course load for Feywild Cartographer, and I will have passed the semester. So that will be something I'm working on today and tomorrow, probably with the audiobook. The Wolf and the Woodsman, I really, really enjoyed. This is a standalone fantasy novel. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of Jewish and Hungarian folklore and religion in it. It's just really well done. I loved it. It took me until I was like 2/3 of the way through to realize there's a glossary in the back, which would have been very helpful, but I was still able to figure things out. I've also just been recently sent her book, Juniper and Thorn, which is coming out in paperback. I'll be featuring that on my Instagram soon, but I wanted to read this to get it off my shelves, and then that conveniently showed up, so that was kind of fun. And then, like I said, I finished Writers and Lovers, 4 stars. Beautiful look at grief, beautiful look at a girl whose life is falling apart, but she's persistent in her dreams and like focusing on writing a book. And then I just really liked it. Not a lot happened, and I don't know, I'm just really digging books about grief right now, which I have no reason to be, but I think that lately it's just been something I'm in the mood for. So this one was really great. I'm doing a really good job this month of reading books on my shelves. Like I actually have a physical stack of books that will be most of the things that I talk about in my wrap-up videos. So tomorrow I have one more day of the readathon. I need to finish Ask Again Yes. That's all I got for you right now, and until we meet again, bye.